Kia ora tātou. I'm here today with Denise Knight and we want to talk a little bit about leadership. So, hello Denise and thank you for joining me.
Hi Carla.
Hi. So, for those who don't know you, could you just tell us where you're based and what it is that you do?
So I'm a regional family store manager and I'm based in the central area, which is the lower North Island from bottom of Taupo back to basically down to Wellington.
Okay.
And I live in Lavin.
Okay. So how long have you been in that role?
So I've been in that role now 6 years.
Okay. So prior to that, from what I understand, you've had leadership roles in other places that were quite different to what you do now. I'm interested to know if your leadership style has changed through your years in leadership.
Yeah, but prior to coming to the Salvation Army, I worked in the structural engineering field.
Okay.
It's pretty male dominated.
Yep.
You know, I was probably in the company I worked for, there was like 3 or 4 females. So it was pretty cutthroat. You know,
Okay.
I worked in health and safety and human resources. And when the guys did stuff wrong, that's pretty much it.
Right.
You have to fire them usually.
That was it.
Yeah, that was it. You're out the door, and I didn't think anything more than giving them a second chance or anything like that. They were out.
Yeah.
We couldn't afford to have them for long periods of time if they weren't performing in the job. It was money, was everything.
Right. But there's a whole different approach to leadership in the Salvation Army working in the family stores. How has that changed?
Well, I think it's beveled my edges a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, when we go into human resources and conversations with people, now it's more centred around them. Yes, we do want them to do their job and do it well, but if they can't, then let's look for ways that we can help them, make suggestions that they might be better somewhere else, or how can we improve. You're here, we think about them as the most important part of our organisation and how we can work with them to make their outcomes better, not just for them, but for us as well.
Yeah. That's cool. And so it's good to know, though, that just because we might start out in leadership in one style, it doesn't have to always stay like that. There's always things to learn and grow in, isn't it? There's always areas that we can improve and change.
Oh, there is. And coming into the Salvation Army was quite interesting because I had conversations with lots of our family store team leaders and took on board the stuff that they would say to me. You know, they'd say, Denise, you're just too cutthroat. So then I think, So I've had to change the way I deal with people, and I've come to learn that the Salvation Army, they were in the family store thing. It's actually we're in the people business. It's always going to be about outcomes for the people that we're involved with. Yeah,
that's cool. I like though that people spoke to you and said you're too cutthroat, because if we're going to change, we have to hear where we need to change, because often we're not aware of the things within ourselves, are we? But someone has to say it to us, and then you have to be willing to receive it and to learn from that, because you could just go, oh, I'm fine, thank you, I'll carry on. But you heard that advice and you took it on.
Yeah, and I think that was most important because I wanted to improve. I didn't like who I was in my other roles.
Right.
And that was partly why I wanted to move on. I just didn't like who I was becoming.
Yeah, good. Oh, well, we're so glad that we have you in the family store now.
Thank you.
So, can you tell us, what do you think would be 2 or 3 key qualities, ideas that make a good leader?
For me, the first thing is the servant leadership style. I find that actually I have to serve my people. It's not in a wishy-washy or walk over type thing, but you want to be able to be providing the resources that they need to do their jobs. You're their backup person. What do they need? How are you encouraging them in what they're doing? What are you supplying? What are you listening for? That sort of thing. So yeah, I think the first thing model is being a servant type leader, and that can often be really hard.
Yeah.
And my second probably point would be I like to be collaborative. I want to sit down and work with my team. A team is far better than just the old one person doing it all on their own. So I like to be collaborative and work with my team and be able to listen to what they're saying. Yeah. And the other thing is making decisions together. So we all own the decision and we all will move forward. But that doesn't mean that I won't make the tough calls that's sometimes required in leadership, and I will do that. But it's better to bring everybody along on the journey than have to make those. Yeah,
absolutely. So can you tell us how your faith plays a role in what you do as a family store manager. It's a bit different to being an officer. It's perhaps not a role that people would think has a large faith component, but does it for you? Is your faith important in what you do?
Oh, it's important all the time because I want to base my leadership on the style of leadership Jesus had with his disciples. So that's my go-to. What would Jesus do in that sort of situation? How would he lead? How did he lead his disciples? Now we hear about Jesus and his disciples and he sent them out for a period of time to learn. Off you go.
Yeah.
And that's time we have to send out people to learn. So I like to follow that sort of style, and I found, I suppose, my true home in a sense here at the Salvation Army with what we can achieve through our family stores and the whole ministry and the stories that can be told about our people. And in the family store, as within the whole organisation, we're impacting people.
Yeah.
There's those little things that impact somebody's life and change them. And we have a huge amount of stories from the family stores.
Yeah.
From our people.
I'm sure you do. Yeah. And it's so cool to think you've had a part in that. Like you said, it's the people business.
Yeah. We are there to earn the funding for the mission, but in the end, it's the people that are going to benefit either from their jobs or whatever, or people coming into the store, the donations, the whole thing. It's all about people.
Yeah, cool. I love that you said you found your home. That's really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So before I became a regional manager, I looked after a family store in Levin for about 6 months. And I come from my other job, and I thought, I was lying in bed at night and thinking about, man, this is going to be a different job for me today. And I just, one of Cliff Richard's songs came into my head, and it says, I ran down the stairs to join the Salvation Army, and all my things were gone, all my bad feelings were gone. So that's what it kind of, that's what it kind of felt. It felt like I was home and the place I want to, and I'm supposed to be. And at the moment, I haven't been told to go anywhere else.
Good. Well, you just stay here then.
Even though how hard it can be sometimes. This is where I'm supposed to be.
And there's always challenges, isn't there? And especially when you are where God has called you to be, because we have an enemy that doesn't like that. There will be challenges. There's hard times for anyone in any kind of leadership. But anyway, thank you for coming and talking to me today. And the reason that we're getting to do this in person, even though Denise is from Levin, is because the One Festival is on and there's a wonderful pop-up shop there, isn't it? So you've got to come all the way up and you're going to be busy there this weekend. I hope the weather's good for you.
We've been doing Festival One since 2019 and with a pop-up store, and that's always great. Great contacts that we make, and people then know they can come to our family stores and have a good shop, and also it's just a space to be sometimes.
That's cool. Well, all the best for this weekend, and all the best to you watching with whatever you're up to today. We hope you have a fabulous day. Ka kite.